First time joining the Sports Shop. We're inside Carolina. We got Jeremiah Holloway. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Good morning.
What's going on, y'all?
Oh, man, we just making it happen, man. Thank you for agreeing to do this. We really want to try to get the inside scoop on what's going on over in Chapel Hill, and no better place to start than inside Carolina. That's what
right.
you do. So just give people the drop, backdrop on what's going on over here with the Tar Heels right now, in particular Matt Brown and his squad.
Yeah, for sure. So, as a lot of people know, obviously North Carolina lost some NFL talent last year with obviously Drake May at quarterback, with Tez Walker at receiver, and Cedric Gray at linebacker, and then they also had some seniors leaving and things like that too. So, what North Carolina is doing right now, they're trying to establish a quarterback one going into the Minnesota game, which is on August the 29th, so a little bit, about 2 weeks away at this point, which is kind of crazy. They're trying to establish a offensive line unit because 4 of their 5 starters from last year left, and they're piecing it together. The left guard spot is one that they're looking at, and then another thing that they're trying to really fortify and establish this year is their defense. That's the area that they've struggled in, the last several years. They have a new defensive coordinator in Jeff Collins, and he wants those guys to play a lot more aggressive. And anytime we go out and we talk to those players, we talk to those defensive players, they say that they feel like they can play more free this year. That's a word that almost every single one of them has used to describe this new defense. So this is a North Carolina team that in some ways is figuring itself out. I think some of the things that we saw in the spring are carrying over, just as far as, like I said, the way the defense wants to play and, some of the new offensive line positions. But some of those things we saw in the spring are carrying over into the summer. And I think this team is figuring out its identity a little bit more at this point.
Awesome. We're talking to Jeremiah Holloway, Inside Carolina. So what are you seeing from one of my top players and the top player on the team, Omarion Hampton?
Yeah, Omarion looks like Omarion. He certainly it's funny. I actually wrote a story about him recently, and I was talking to his high school coach, and he was saying that Omarion's build that he has right now, basically he had that same build when he was, a freshman in high school. And
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because he was saying that he grew a few inches, but as far as the size, it's pretty much. So he's 220 right now. I think he came into UNC. He was probably around 210 or something like that, and he's 6 foot. I will say one thing that they're doing. They're not exposing him. UNC's not exposing him to too many hits right now.
Right.
To, protect him for the season. Now we did have some open practices where we went out and we saw him. The first fully padded open practice was, I want to say, was the second week of August, and trying to keep up with these weeks at this point. But it was last week, and we saw him. He was making his way through the holes and things like that. In the way that he does. So again, they're not getting him hit too much at this point. But come season time, I think we're going to see Omarion, and they're gonna lean on him a lot this year too, with the uncertainty, if you will, at the quarterback position, and obviously him showing what he could do last season. That's also a more than valid reason to lean on him even more. And we were talking to him at that ACC kickoff in Charlotte, and he was saying that he wants to be more involved in the passing game as well, to kind of show that to NFL teams whenever he makes that jump. So I know we'll see a lot of Omarion Hampton this coming year, and so far in practice, he's looked just like the Omarion we've all come to know over the last year.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Outstanding. We're talking with Jeremiah Holloway, Inside Carolina. We're talking a little UNC football, and it's talking about the upcoming season and the battle for quarterback. If you want to, I guess if it's a real battle,
that's what I'm interested in. Yeah,
battle for quarterback. But it's talking about how the league's shaping up. We talked about it quite a bit when we were down in Charlotte, ACC kickoff. Talking about the addition of the new teams. Talk about the expectation that the team is talking about for this team overall for the season, going into the season. Of course, they want to be successful, but realistically, one of the two of the things that they want to shore up to make sure that they can end up at the top of the standings at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, it's certainly interesting. I think when you look at that North Carolina schedule, a lot of people look at the schedule and say, you have a lot of winnable games. I think the glaring trip-ups, if you will, would be, at Florida State, and then it would be against NC State, a team that they haven't been able to beat in several years now. One thing that's kind of interesting when we were talking to a few of the guys the other day, or really when we were talking to Mac Brown the other day, he was saying that he didn't want to put a win total on it because last year the mantra was 9 isn't enough. So in 2022 they went 9-5, and they had obviously lost those last 4 games. So their mantra last year was 9 isn't enough. In other words, kind of finish the season, things like that. And they end up kind of having the same problem. They end up going 8-4. So now they're kind of looking at it like, we're not even going to put a number on it. We're not going to put a win total on it. They're just like, try to get through, get through each game. But now, obviously, when you talk to the guys, they have that confidence. They do want to win that ACC, and they do want to get into that expanded college football playoff this year, which would be, that would be something to see. North Carolina in a college football playoff.
You're right about that.
Yeah, that would be something to see.
Yeah, it shocked me too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So I think for North Carolina, if they want to have a successful season, protect the home field, is probably baseline given, and then just take care of business against. Obviously, your first 4 games. Minnesota is the toughest of the first 4 games, but the next 3 after that would be at home, and then they have a new look Duke team that they would play on the road. So it's just going to come down to are they able to take care of business, and are they able to play to their strengths offensively? And then kind of going back to the original question, if the defense is marginally better, like if they're giving up. Last several seasons has been, they've been giving up 30-plus points per game, sometimes even more than that. Can they get down to even 27, 28, just giving, the offense a chance to kind of, put some points on the board as well. So I think what you're going to see, I think for North Carolina to get to 8 wins or more, they would just have to take care of business against the teams that they're better than.
Right.
They would have to be, considerably better on defense, and they just have to find their identity on offense, which I think would be the right game.
Oh, man. So this has been awesome, man. Again, Jeremiah Holloway, who is the we're Inside Carolina. Hey, Jeremiah, tell people how they can follow you, man.
Yeah, for sure. So my Twitter is JX Holloway. So that's where, I'll put my stuff on there, retweet my stuff. InsideCarolina.com. That's where you can see my stuff, and then also, Adam Smith and Evan Rogers and everybody else that's out there doing our thing. So, those are the main 2 places, Twitter, or I guess X now, and then obviously the Inside Carolina website.
Hey, man, thank you for spending some time. Looking forward to rocking this season, man, getting all the info we need to know over in Chapel Hill. Appreciate your time, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, for sure.
Yeah.